James had always thought his life would be a series of mundane events, punctuated by occasional moments of interest. He never imagined receiving a message that would change everything. The message came from a distant planet, informing him that his alien friend, Zarkon, had passed away and left him his entire fortune, including his estate. James stared at the message in disbelief. Zarkon had been a close friend during his interstellar travels, a kind-hearted alien who had shown him the ropes of navigating different planets and cultures. But an inheritance? He had no idea what to do with an alien fortune. After a few days of contemplation and conversations with friends, James decided to honor Zarkon's last wishes. He booked a passage to the planet Ryloth, where Zarkon's estate was located. The journey was long and filled with anticipation. James couldn't shake off the feeling of unease mixed with excitement. Upon arrival, James was greeted by Leora, Zarkon's wife. She was strikingly beautiful, with luminescent skin and eyes that seemed to hold the mysteries of the universe. Leora welcomed James with a gentle smile, but he could sense the sorrow behind her eyes. "James, thank you for coming," Leora said, her voice soft and melodic. "Zarkon spoke highly of you. He trusted you with everything he had." James nodded, feeling a weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. "I'm honored, Leora. I want to do right by Zarkon's wishes." Leora led him through the expansive estate. It was filled with advanced alien technology and treasures from across the galaxy. James felt overwhelmed, but intrigued by the possibilities. As they walked, Leora explained the customs of their people and the significance of Zarkon's inheritance. "In our culture, it's important to ensure the well-being of those left behind. Zarkon believed you could protect and manage what he left." James felt out of his depth, but was determined to fulfill his friend's wishes. Over the next few days, he tried to learn as much as he could about the estate and its operations. Leora was a constant source of support, guiding him through the complexities of alien society. One evening, as they sat in the garden, James asked, "Leora, why did Zarkon choose me?" Leora looked at him, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "Zarkon saw something in you, James. He saw a good heart, someone who could adapt and thrive in any situation. He believed you could bring something new to our world." James felt a sense of determination well up inside him. "I'll do my best, for Zarkon and for you." James explored the expansive estate, feeling a mix of awe and apprehension. Advanced alien technology surrounded him, along with treasures from across the galaxy. It was unlike anything he had ever seen, and he felt overwhelmed but intrigued by the possibilities. Leora was a constant guide, explaining the various functions of the estate and its advanced systems. She introduced him to the staff, a diverse group of aliens who looked at him with curiosity and some skepticism. James knew he had a lot to prove. During one of their walks through the estate, Leora showed James a room filled with holographic records of Zarkon's achievements and their planet's history. "Zarkon believed in preserving knowledge," she said, her voice tinged with pride. "He thought you would appreciate this." James nodded, deeply touched. "He always had a knack for seeing potential in people. I hope I can live up to his expectations." Leora smiled gently. "You already are, James, just by being here and trying." As days turned into weeks, James immersed himself in learning about the estate and Ryloth's culture. He faced many challenges, from understanding alien technology to navigating the social intricacies of the planet. Leora was patient, always ready to explain and assist. One evening, while they were reviewing some of the estate's financial matters, James noticed a hint of worry on Leora's face. "Is something bothering you?" he asked. Leora hesitated before speaking. "There are some who do not approve of you inheriting Zarkon's estate. They believe a human cannot handle such responsibility." James frowned. "Who are these people?" Some of Zarkon's old rivals, Leora explained. They resent the idea of an outsider managing the estate. They may cause trouble. James felt a surge of determination. I'll prove them wrong. I owe it to Zarkon, and to you. Over the next few weeks, James worked tirelessly to understand the complexities of the estate. He attended meetings, learned about the various technologies, and even started to pick up some of the local language. He faced skepticism and resistance, but with Leora's support, he slowly began to gain the trust of the staff and the local community. One night, after a particularly challenging day, James and Leora sat in the garden, looking up at the stars. "Do you ever miss Earth?" Leora asked softly. James thought for a moment. "Sometimes. But I feel like this is where I'm meant to be now. Zarkon believed in me, and I want to honor that." Leora reached out and took his hand. "We'll do it together, James. For Zarkon." As James looked into her eyes, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. He was determined to protect Zarkon's legacy and prove himself worthy of the trust placed in him. Not everyone was pleased with James's presence on Ryloth. Some of Zarkon's old rivals resented a human managing such a significant estate. Whispers of discontent and veiled threats began to circulate. James knew he had to prove himself, not just for his sake, but for Leora and the legacy of his friend. One afternoon, while James was overseeing some estate business, an alien named Drogan approached him. Drogan was a powerful figure in the local community and had been a rival of Zarkon. His tall, imposing figure and piercing gaze made James uneasy. "James," Drogan began, his tone cold, "you do not belong here. Zarkon's legacy should be handled by someone of Ryloth, not an outsider." James met Drogan's gaze steadily. "Zarkon trusted me with his estate. I intend to honor his wishes." Drogan's expression hardened. "We shall see how long you last." With that, he turned and left, leaving a palpable tension in the air. James confided in Leora about the encounter. "Drogan is influential," she warned. "You must be cautious. He won't make things easy for you." Determined to prove himself, James redoubled his efforts. He attended more meetings, consulted with experts on alien technology, and immersed himself in Ryloth's culture. The staff, initially skeptical, began to see his dedication and started to warm up to him. One day, while working on integrating some new technology into the estate's operations, James discovered a flaw in the system that could have led to a catastrophic failure. He quickly devised a solution and implemented it, preventing potential disaster. This incident earned him newfound respect among the staff and the local community. However, Drogan was not deterred. He attempted to undermine James at every turn, spreading rumors and creating obstacles. But with Leora's unwavering support, James persevered. They worked together to counter Drogan's efforts and ensure the smooth running of the estate. One evening, Leora and James attended a community gathering. It was a traditional event filled with music, dance, and storytelling. As they mingled with the locals, James noticed Drogan watching him intently. Midway through the evening, Drogan approached the gathering, calling for attention. "I challenge James to a duel of honor," he declared. "If he truly believes he is worthy of managing Zarkon's estate, let him prove it." The crowd murmured in surprise, and all eyes turned to James. He felt a surge of anxiety, but also a deep resolve. He glanced at Leora, who gave him an encouraging nod. "I accept your challenge," James replied, his voice steady. The duel was set for the following day. As the sun rose, a crowd gathered to witness the event. James and Drogan faced each other, armed with traditional Rylothian weapons. The stakes were high, and the tension was palpable. The duel was fierce, with both opponents displaying skill and determination. James's training and determination were put to the test. Despite the odds, he fought with everything he had, driven by his promise to honor Zarkon's legacy. In the end, James emerged victorious. Exhausted and battered, he stood tall, earning the respect of the crowd. Drogon, though defeated, grudgingly acknowledged James's right to the estate. As the crowd dispersed, Leora approached James, her eyes filled with admiration. "You did it, James! You've proven yourself!" James nodded, feeling a mixture of relief and pride. "We did it, Leora. Together." As James adapted to his new life, he developed a deeper bond with Leora. They continued to face challenges, but their partnership grew stronger. James had proven himself, but there was still much to learn and many responsibilities to handle. With Drogon's challenge behind him, James focused on improving the estate and integrating more of Zarkon's innovative ideas. He organized community meetings, inviting locals to share their thoughts and concerns. This openness helped to further gain the trust and respect of the Rylothians. One day, while exploring a forgotten part of the estate, James and Leora stumbled upon an old laboratory. It was filled with Zarkon's unfinished projects and experimental technology. "Zarkon was always working on something new," Leora said, her voice filled with nostalgia. "He believed in pushing boundaries." James looked around, fascinated by the potential of these discoveries. "We should continue his work," he said. "There's so much here that could benefit Ryloth and beyond." Together, they began to study Zarkon's notes and experiments. With the help of the estate's scientists, they started to develop new technologies and improvements. These advancements not only honored Zarkon's legacy, but also brought prosperity to the community. As they worked, James and Leora's bond deepened. They spent countless hours together, sharing ideas and dreams for the future. One evening, as they watched the twin suns set over the horizon, Leora turned to James. "You've done more than just honor Zarkon's wishes," she said softly. "You've become a part of this world, and a part of my life." James took her hand, feeling a profound sense of connection. "I couldn't have done any of this without you, Leora. We make a good team." Their relationship blossomed into something more profound, built on mutual respect and shared goals. Together they navigated the complexities of Ryloth society and politics, facing each challenge with determination and unity. Despite their progress, not all threats were external. James discovered that some members of the estate staff were secretly loyal to Drogon, undermining their efforts from within. Confronting this betrayal, James and Leora worked to root out the disloyal elements and strengthen their support base. One night, as they reviewed security footage, James turned to Leora. "Why do you think Zarkon chose me?" he asked, the question lingering in his mind. Leora smiled, her eyes filled with warmth. "Zarkon saw in you what I see now, a good heart, a strong spirit, and the ability to adapt and thrive. He believed you could bring positive change to our world, and you have." James felt a surge of gratitude and determination. "I'll continue to do my best, for Zarkon, for you, and for Ryloth." In the following months, James and Leora's efforts bore fruit. The estate flourished, and the community thrived. They introduced new technologies, improved living conditions, and strengthened ties with neighboring planets. James had truly become a part of Ryloth, embracing his role with passion and dedication. One evening, as they stood on the balcony overlooking the estate, Leora leaned against James. "We've come a long way," she said, her voice filled with pride. James wrapped an arm around her, looking out at the vibrant world they had helped build. "We have, and there's still so much more to do." Leora smiled, a sense of contentment in her eyes. "Together we can achieve anything." James nodded, feeling a profound sense of belonging and purpose. Together. Subscribe to watch more amazing sci-fi stories.